We're going to jump back into our study of the book of James today, and we're going to look at the first couple of verses, James 1, 2, and 3. And so let's talk about the word joy. What does this mean? What do you think of when you hear someone say they have joy? Do you think of someone who looks happy? Maybe somebody who looks like they are excited. Maybe somebody who looks like they've just been given a gift or they've been told of a great prize that they have won. But a lot of times when we think of the word joy, we simply think of a great big smiley face. But joy is more than that. Joy is the result of our work that brings about accomplishments and rewards. So the word joy is very complex. The next thing James says talks about is trials. I think of things like obstacles, like things that are in my way, things that are difficult to move, things that are always there, seem to always be around. Or maybe when you think of trials, you think about having to learn new subjects or new topics, or going even potentially to school. Or maybe you think of something like a tragedy, maybe a broken hand or something like that that's caused you to miss time doing things that you love. Those are the things we think of when we think of trials. Mostly when we think of the word trials, we think of this big octagon. Stop. We think of the fact that our lives have been radically changed. But James moves right into that and begins to talk about testing. What does testing mean? Well, it's measuring, it's challenging, it's checking, it's double checking. Testing is more than just that. It's also comparing, taking a list of things, comparing results, asking hard and difficult questions, and trying to understand complex arguments. A lot of times when we think of testing, we think of restriction, though. We think of being trapped, maybe into a classroom or something. But what does testing do? What are the results of testing? Well, testing brings about things like space shuttles, things that go up into outer space and go and revolve around the planet Earth. Testing has great results. Let's look at this last word, perseverance. Perseverance, running. Maybe somebody who's training for a marathon. Maybe somebody who wants to have a different fitness reality than they have now, so they begin to lift weights and they begin to show up day after day and they practice these behaviors. But when you think of the word perseverance, think simply about this idea, moving forward. Perseverance means you take the circumstances that you're in and you embrace them and allow them to challenge you. One of the greatest realities about perseverance is time. Time is going by no matter where you're at, and it will challenge us all. Perseverance means taking what we have done the day before and repeating it again. If you're training to run, it means you train again. If you're training to lift weights, it means you train again. You lift more weights, you lift different sets, and you challenge yourself and you allow yourself to be challenged. And then you wake up and you go forward and you do it again. What do we do with these four words? Joy, trials, testing, and perseverance. Well, James says that we really should consider it an accomplishment when, as a believer, we are challenged in our daily lives. And we should persevere. We should remain faithful to God's calling to us, and we should allow ourselves to evaluate the circumstances that we're in. You see, God has promised us great things. So read this verse about what happens to those who persevere, and place your faith, your confidence in your daily life in God's hands. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love Him.